Oh, wait, this won't work. This absolutely won't work. There we go. That's better. Marte's in the chat already. Yeah, this is the first time I'm actually trying this the Streamlabs Talk Studio. We're gonna try and get a panel in here. I don't know. We'll see if anybody shows up. Might be nobody. But until then, what are we gonna do? Every time that I stream, the wife's like, "But the baby," and it's like, "Yeah, but she's sleeping, so shh." Don't maybe sit there and snap at me. What's Easy up to? I have no idea what Easy's doing. But I gotta pull it up. I have some videos that I wanted to review as soon as I can figure out how to do this, because it's been forever since I've done a stream. Where did it go? Try and find. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. This shit that my brother sent me this, by the way. I have no idea why. Let me see. By the way, can anybody in the chat let me know, how do I sound? Like, do I sound good? Here we go. There we go. This is so much better than just regular Streamlabs, though. It's way smoother in the transitions. I like it. But is this video? Has anybody seen this shit? I don't know why my brother sent me this. No, wait, it wasn't this one. Which one was it? Was it the hot sauce drink? This guy has 600,000 subscribers. And all he does is just shit like this.
Hello YouTube. How you doing today, everybody? Listen, I'm going to do a video on how to make pickled Pepsi at home. That's what I'm going to title it. I've seen a video about KFC making pickled Pepsi, and the guy that was reviewing it, it was crazy. 2 pickles, little bit of Pepsi, which I'm going to show you how to do it at home for cheap. And the guy paid $3.99, almost $4 for it. What the hell? You could go home and make it for free. Dude, and this one I'm going to show you right now.
This guy has over 600,000 subscribers.
Got my glass. I got my pickle jars with pickles. What I'm going to do first is, I'm going to put the pickles in the jar first. That's what it was, yeah. So, yeah.
Is this guy real?
There's one.
This has to be AI, I feel like. Like, I don't know. Like, he's been making videos for forever. But, like, this feels fake. This guy feels like he doesn't exist. I don't believe it.
There's 2. Fork down. Put the lid on the thing. This is very easy and cheap. I don't know what the hell KFC was ever thinking of. Like, what the heck,
This video came out, like, a couple of days ago. I've never heard of anybody putting pickles in their Pepsi. Okay? Is this a thing? I've never seen anybody do it. It could be a thing, but I don't know. But apparently to this guy, it's a thing.
$4 for a thing that you could just make at home. See? 2 pickles in a pickle jar. See? Cheap and easy. What the hell, man? And Pepsi. Open it up. Oh, yes, I forgot one thing. Pickle brine. Right.
I have no idea what's going on here.
There you go. A little bit of that. See? This one's pickle brine with pickles in it. Same thing. Right. There we go. The guy said on the video, oh, it tastes awful. Well, just wait. We're going to give that theory a theory.
What?
And you got that right. I'm going to taste it. You know what?
Looking?
The guy was wrong. It tastes very darn good. It does. I mean, I like it. I mean, the taste is so sweet. Buttery. Because I'm using butter pickles. Yeah, it's very good. I like it. But I would not spend $3.99 for a thing at KFC. Nah. They probably use old pickles and old brine. Whatever, I'm using some stuff anyways. So, you know, this is pretty good. Another wizardry drink.
What the like, you can, this guy has a bunch of these videos. I'm so confused. Where's the one that I saw? Like the Hold on, you can join his channel? Again, he has 600,000 subscribers. It's the most random shit ever. Trimming dead tree branches has 12,000 views. Got one eye looking at you and one eye looking for you. What's up, sports brand? Good to see you, man. I saw one Where he just poured hot sauce and Pepsi. It was absolutely hilarious to me. Oh, let me just look it up. Yeah, it's this one right here.
Hello YouTube, how you doing today? This is going to be a very good and easy video, and I'll get right into it. Thank you all for what you've been doing. It's so wonderful.
Stop drinking.
Okay, first of all, I got my glass. I got my Pepsi.
I wasn't planning on watching this, but I had to show you guys
I love my
this.
hot sauce.
No, I took a little
Now,
time
what
off.
I'm gonna do-
Oh, we got a guest from the
Then I'm gonna
stream.
put the
All right, hold
Pepsi-
on. We're gonna bring him up. We're gonna bring up Mr. Re-exam.
I don't like your new roommate. I don't know. I got a bad feeling about this guy.
I can't hear you, Rex.
The heck?
I got no sound coming from you.
That's weird. Okay, hold up. This is your.
Absolutely nothing coming out of you.
Weird.
Hold on. Let me make sure this isn't on my end. Can you guys hear him? Anybody in the chat confirm whether or not you can hear him? Oh, you guys hear him? I don't hear him. That's weird. Okay, hold on.
I'm about to say I hear myself, so if they hear me, you know.
Let me try something real quick.
Yeah, they can hear me on the stream. Oh, this guy's a Maple Leafs fan on top of that too. So there you go.
It's just me who can't hear him. Let me see something.
Check your output.
This is weird. I don't know why I can't hear you.
Da 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 da.
Here, let me try something real quick. I'm just gonna drop you and then.
Hello? Nothing?
Yeah, I don't hear you.
Weird. Hmm.
Check my output setup. Let me check. You know what? That's probably it. Hold on. Okay, so my computer sounds is coming through the earbud. Why don't I hear you though? That's not it. I'm looking at my output settings. That's weird.
All right.
Dude, I don't know why I don't hear you. This is bothering me.
All right. Let me try something.
And you guys can hear the chat can hear you. That's what makes no sense to me. I guess the open panel's over. We'll figure this out. Give me a sec. On the edge of your seat there. He's just grabbing a guitar. Why don't I hear you? Like, I don't get this. That's what I don't get. Am I just like, am I retarded? Yeah, I still don't hear it. That's what's weird. I don't. Chat, you guys can all hear him, but I don't. I don't get this. What's this now?
Who's
Who's this one? I don't know why I can't hear you. That's true. Us guitarists do like to show off. Hold on, let me.
It's hard to hear you over that obnoxious guitar.
See? In the glass.
I can hear the video, but I can't hear any of you guys. This is weird. I don't have this tab muted, do I?
Of course, Steelboard would not have us in the chat. He is such a stupid retard.
I broke it, I guess. I don't know why. I can't hear any of you
Of
guys.
course he broke it. He always breaks things, Steelboard.
You can hear Steel. Why can't I hear you guys? Is anybody in here like familiar with Talk Studio? Try taking the video down. Yeah, I can do that. Give me a second. Start saying something real quick, Rex. No, I don't hear any of you guys. That's a great icon of St. George, though.
Is this better?
Like, awesome icon, but
Yeah, there be dragons and shit.
the fact that Steelborn can't hear you is hilarious. I'm sorry, but
I can't hear what any of these people are saying. I don't like this.
Yeah, that's because I'm Steelboard.
I don't know what's going on here.
Yawn. I might be a little bit boring at times because I'm Steelboard.
that was the worst rendition I've probably ever done of "Sweet Child O' Mine."
Hold on, let me do something. Let me check something real quick.
Sport Brand says peak YouTube. Okay, well, I guess it's my show now. Welcome everybody in the chat to the Steelborn Show, starring Reexamination and Steelbore. What the heck? Okay,
Yes,
so
I'm Steelboard.
Steelbore, how did your
Yeah, I can. That's
debate
okay.
career get
If I
started?
pull up my stream on YouTube, I can hear Rex talking,
What?
but I just
I
can't
don't
hear
know.
it in the studio.
Debate? No. What's that?
What's your favorite debate that you've ever been part of?
No debate.
Why do I have
don't
no
debate.
audio coming from this?
Sorry,
This is weird. This
I'm
is
just
wild.
boring. No debates here. I don't even make good arguments. I only use things like tag.
Yeah, but do you ever use hide and seek if you're going to incorporate
Like, I don't know.
tag? You need.
This is.
No,
I can't
it's
hear
a boring
you
argument.
in the
It's just
studio.
boring. That's what
Only on
it is.
YouTube.
It's boring.
So, do you
Hold on.
bore your opponent to death with arguments? Is that what you do?
With
You
tag, yeah, I just win with boring them to death with tag. Over and over again. It's round and circular.
you like using circular things on the playground.
Why do I feel like I know who Steelbore is now that I'm hearing it for a second?
Circular argument, I tell you. It is boring. That's why I just run it. I always got it because I'm Steelboard.
Now, when you say steel bore,
See, I just
are you
pulled up
talking?
my YouTube.
Are you saying that you are boring into steel? Like
See,
with
I
a
just
drill,
pulled up my YouTube,
or
and
are
now
you saying
I can now
your
hear
boredom that
the
you
fact
give
that
out to people is so strong that it might as well be a heavy metal.
I'm gonna mute your ass, Rex.
No, what I'm saying is I'm just boring.
Everest, shut up.
I like tag. Okay, you might have caught me. You might have caught me. Listen, I
dude,
saw an opportunity, all right?
Everest, I can't hear you in Talk Studio. I can only hear you because I have my YouTube pulled up.
Yeah, well, you caught the tater. It's not my fault you can't hear me.
No,
Yep.
like, are any of you guys like really? This is my first time using Talk Studio, like hosting something.
Hello.
Should have used StreamYard.
Any ideas how to fix this?
Ask Grok.
Hey, how was my steel bore impression? Was it good?
Can you hear me?
Did you like my steel? Did you like my steel bore impression?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay.
My dog hears you.
I can only
10
hear you on my
10 out of
YouTube
10.
stream. Like I have
That's
that pulled
exactly
up.
how he sounds. Everything
Yeah.
he does. He sounds like a decrepit old man who lives on paint chips and diesel or something. I don't know. Nice.
I
dog.
knew that I wouldn't get so I knew that steel bore would just let me on if I just had icons as my profile picture. So I quickly switched my camera to the icon. I was like, it doesn't even matter what my name is.
I
Just
let
see
you
the
on
icon.
just because it said Steelborn. I want to see what that was.
You'll see the icons and you'll just be like, I'm not going to confirm this. I'm just going to go with it.
Well, also part of it too is you actually sounded like the guy he was reviewing the video of. Like I was like, does he know this guy? Is he reviewing like a YouTube?
I don't even know what he was doing. I don't even know what he was doing. I just saw Steelborn live when I was on Rob's looking on who to raid at the end of the day. And so I saw Steelborn was live. I clicked here and I was like, you know what? I see an opportunity. And
Yeah.
I immediately I didn't even know what was going on. I just clicked Talk Studios as soon as possible. I couldn't even hear what was going on. And then, fucking Steelborn is just on with electronics, so he can't figure out how to hear us.
Yeah, I've never used Streamlabs before, and I'm glad. This has been a failed experiment, and I'm glad I'm part of it.
Yeah, man, this is you're proving to be a successful experiment here, Steelborn. This is what happens when you pay for the cheap shit.
Yeah, and even
I've used Talk
like
Studio
StreamYard is free.
when I went on Chris's panel. I went on one of Chris's panels, and it
was
fine.
Chris running it? Was Chris running it?
Yes, it was hosted by Chris.
Are you kidding me? We have to like wait for him to fucking. We have to wait for the host. The host is lagged. Can you believe this? The host. Yeah, L in the chat for Steelborn and his fucking weirdo glasses, like he's in Top Gun.
Oh my gosh!
Like, no matter how you try to fix it, you can't fix Down syndrome.
The reason that I'm lagged is because I can only hear you guys after it comes through on YouTube. What part of this don't you get?
What a victim! What a victim!
Victim card.
Too bad. Oh my gosh, where's my wah-wah pedal here?
Okay, hold on. I think I got it. One of you guys talk real
I
quick.
think I got it. I got it.
Hello?
I got it fixed.
I got to think.
Okay, I got it fixed. We got this shit figured out. Okay.
He doesn't have it figured out.
I have it figured out. I don't even have my
He
YouTube
doesn't
playing.
have
I
it
can hear
figured
you
out.
just
He
fine.
doesn't have it
Shut up,
figured out.
Avarice.
Yeah, he doesn't have it figured out.
You're on your own.
Yeah, he doesn't have it figured out. Look at even my wife gave you an L. Look at that.
Yeah, okay, I took the L. Okay, I took the L on that one. I had to go. So I figured I had to go to my microphone settings and
My
audio
wife is
output was
so
going
supportive. You notice that my wife just follows me to whatever stream I'm on. She's like the most supportive wife. Like my husband is here. I'm gonna go there.
Hey,
You know
That's
what?
good.
Hey, Steel Wife was one of the first in the chat. I'll have you know.
I found one that just likes to just listen to me talk. You know, isn't that weird?
Oh, mine does too. She's just sitting over there on the bed listening.
Like she gets mad at me when I don't talk to her. Right? She's just like, I want to
think that's
talk.
every wife ever.
I recognize that hoodie, by the way. This looks
Yeah.
pretty nice.
That's a pretty nice hoodie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of a kind, or it's not one of a kind, but it's unique now. It's over. So whoever the number is, that's the number of that exists today. So
You gotta find out.
You hear
from
that,
DC
guys?
how
You're gonna
many
have to
of
go
those
to his
actually
house
got
and
made
beat him up and
Then
take
you could be like limited edition Avarice hoodie, $10,000.
well, so the ones for DebateCon, if they come, hopefully they'll all arrive on time. I haven't really mentioned it, but are really cool, and they say heaven maxing right down the side.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
do that.
so I did. Yeah, it says hashtag heaven maxing right down the side of the sleeve. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, this is okay. So I got this figured out. Okay. Now
So you
we
go
can
to
back
Steelborn?
what?
You going to DebateCon?
I have no idea if I'm gonna be able to go.
What do you mean you have no idea? Don't bitch out. Do you go to examination?
Dude,
No.
It's do you know
Oh
how
my
like I'm a broke person. I don't know if you know this. I'm one of those like filthy pores.
Did you get some pretty big donos from Jungle?
I had to buy my wife a car.
So instead of going to a once in a lifetime experience, you decide to buy something that's just gonna cause you more bills and payments along the way?
We were down to one vehicle and it was my truck. And do you know how expensive it is to drive a Duramax dually long bed crew cab 3,500 everywhere like it's a fucking family station wagon when diesel's $6 a gallon?
Or hear me out here, sell that, get a Toyota
Nope,
truck
I will never sell that truck.
and-
That truck will never get sold. That truck will never get sold.
and a Tesla.
You know what? Hold on. The reason why I will never sell that truck is because I grew up in that truck. My dad did give me that was my a gift that my dad gave me. Was
He
passed
still
down
lives in that truck.
Oh, there we go. Okay, well then that's fair. If it's a gift your dad, if it's a gift from your dad, that's
I do.
I'll give you that.
My dad bought that truck when I was 4 years old. I grew up in the
you
back of
say
that truck.
you say a lot of things that you may have or that may be sentimental, Steelborn, and they really come out that they're not actually sentimental. We know this to be true.
What if I said that sentimental is not?
Well, remember that one time you were like before you were married, you said you were married, but you weren't married yet, and you proved it. You remember that? Remember
That's
that?
me.
That is true. I did say that.
Yeah.
But that
You
was
remember that?
entirely just to fucking do
Remember
a
that?
channel
You see, so you made the truck maybe to fuck me. Who knows?
Hold on. Sportsman says I have to go because Grid and Speaker having a cartel meeting. It's gonna be super cool. He come to me on the day of my verbal combat live.
Like this is weird. You can like it's I hate Talk Studios because it's the only one where like I haven't done the plugin for it because I need to tinker after the fact. And I'm not going to because it doesn't none of my streams that I deal with that use Talk Studio. So but it's the only one that doesn't let me use my background. So like you can literally see like my entire house background. And I don't like it ever. And then you can see like how big of a nerd I am with the board games down here, right? We got Xbox controller, an icon.
It's very human,
right?
though. It's very
There's an
human.
icon. There's an icon there, and then some DVDs, and then my Gundams,
And then your couch.
the couch. Yeah, there's the couch.
Well, confirm there's no green screen with your intergalactic superhero setup you usually have.
No, there's not. I don't mean it's just the Rust background. It's actually the Avarice logo.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like derivative of some kind of
No,
Green Lantern lore or something.
It is, yeah, the Avarice logo. So,
Oh, we got another guest in the back. We're gonna pull him up. We got How Long Nate.
Hey, Nate.
avarice.
Ah.
It's one of the spectrums of the range. Hey, hey, Nate.
Nate, I have a question. Have you met a man like this? On
Hey,
your-
Everest.
Pull him back
Somebody
up.
called for paint. Someone who ate paint chips and diesel.
What?
Oh, so that's a reference to the
Someone
voice
called for-
that was a
Shut up,
reference
Alex,
to
just the baby. The baby's sleeping.
so that was a reference to the voice that Everest was making for you to call you Steel Boar, and he sounded exactly like the guy we were actually reviewing from the video. So I said he'd sound like he had a steady diet of paint chips and diesel. So that's what How Long Nate is talking about.
Right. So I decided to show up. Someone referred to me.
But
Yeah.
how long? This looks like a long lost relative of yours. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. How do I do this?
Here, I can do that though, Mrs. D. How's that? Oh, wait, oh shit. There we go. There's my son.
Handsome little
Isn't he
dude.
handsome? Yeah, he's so handsome.
So, Steelborn, I got to tell you, I have a renewed respect for you with the story of your truck. Do not ever let that thing go. Do all you can to keep that thing on the road. It is a piece of American mastercraft right there.
That truck will never die. I will keep that thing on the road if I have to. I'll park it in a barn, and yeah, like I could literally fucking total the truck and I would still save it.
Yeah. No, I'm actually searching for something like that with the crew cab, long bed, put a shell on it. That way I can get rid of my trailer out in Duchesne and just live in the truck full time when I'm not in the semi truck.
Yeah. Well, like this truck's been it's been to Kansas and back multiple times. I'm not sure. I don't think it's been to California yet. And I was thinking I might, I was like, oh, I could just, make it to Texas in this thing. And then I'm like, that'd be really expensive.
It'd be super expensive. It's a Duramax. Don't you remember?
Almost makes you want to rent if you're going to drive it instead of fly it.
We always said when you said that, and you think of Robin Hood Men in Tights. It's an Everlast.
Yes.
I lost? I wasn't supposed to lose. Hand me that script.
Yes, he gets another shot.
But I have a question for you. How long have you met this man on your travels? Because he seems like this guy does not seem real to me. I swear
That's Marshall. That's
What?
Marshall's
I have
dad.
not met that man.
Have you guys seen this? He just mixes hot sauce and Pepsi for no reason, and then just like it's the fucking crazy.
Well-adjusted individual. Now we can't hear this video.
He looks super well adjusted.
What? Hold on.
Now you have the audio
I
dilemma.
don't know that
also
we
known as
need
the-
to hear it.
This is the Streamlabs dilemma. You can either hear the video or you can hear your guests, but you can't have both.
Hold on. I got it.
Can you hear us still?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Just give me a sec. I had to click share system audio with it.
Mm.
Hold on, you gotta hear what
There
he
we go.
said because that was hilarious.
Put the Pepsi in the glass, as usual. Nice crack. Love the crack.
Somehow I don't find that surprising.
This guy doesn't
That
seem real.
much
He seems
Pepsi,
fake.
maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that much Pepsi. And now, I'm going to put the hot sauce in it. Love my hot sauce.
Just look at this.
Oh my
Look at what
gosh.
Jungle almost could have been. If
What?
only he was cooler, he could have been like this guy.
What?
The concept of mixing things with
Simple and easy.
right? The concept of mixing things with soda. is that you put the other ingredients in and then you add the soda because it mixes it up.
Sacrifice the system audio is echo here.
You need to mute.
Oh, come on. Hold on. We're going to try this one more time.
No, you need to mute our tab. You need to mute the tab.
That man looks like and sounds like he is on
Mute this tab,
Okay, hold on.
and then
Hold on.
play that
federal
tab.
assistance permanently.
Can you hear this?
Do it again. Nah.
No.
Bruh.
Yeah, you see, listen, you need to mute our tab here on the live streaming. Just go here, right click, mute the tab, right? And then share the tab with the open, because what it's doing is it's playing all of the audio on all of your tabs that are playing audio, right? And so it's going to double echo us right through.
Hold on. Let's try one more time. I'm going to try this.
Oh, smells spicy.
Can you hear it?
I can hear it.
I hear it,
Okay, it smells spicy.
Hot saucy. Mmm.
but the
No,
question is, are we echoing?
Hopefully it tastes good.
I don't think so. I only shared this window, this window specifically.
Oh my gosh. Look at the bottom of that glass. Look at all that sticky stuff in the context of soda.
That was the hot sauce they poured in there.
I know. But this just looks like
Well, it's
Yoda's
because-
origin story when he was still a human.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Mmm. Wow.
Oh jeez.
Ugh.
Wow. Spicy.
The question is, did his eyes
You
point
know,
that direction before
somebody
or
on the
after
other
he
video
discovered
was-
this?
I don't know if it pointed there before.
I want a
He's
chronology
literally
of
got
his.
a bunch
He
of-
didn't go cross-eyed. He went lazy-eyed with that drink.
He went split. He went chameleon-eyed with that drink.
Well, no, Sports Brand even told us he's got one eye looking at you and one the other eye looking at you.
Watching. Said it tastes gross. No, it don't.
It don't taste gross.
Wow. Hmm. The simple wizardry drink does it again.
It goes down like a loogie.
Wow.
I don't like that description. Never give that description again of anything.
Well, it's accurate. You listen to that gulp. It's a complex gulp of multiple textures running down his trachea at once.
This guy
Wait,
has
there's more.
this guy has 600,000 subscribers.
Hold
Rex.
up, stop. He found a ring in the dirt, similar to Gollum.
Right? That's like an oyster in your soda. Ugh.
Can we talk about the fact that this guy has 600,000 subscribers and all he does is mix weird shit and that's like into drinks?
It kind
and
of is
cut
what
down-
YouTube is
look,
made for.
Dude, this video has 12,000 views. It's just trimming a dead tree branches.
Everest,
literally the-
you need to get this guy at DebateCon. Stat.
Yeah, that's that.
You know what's sad? If
I
this guy went to DebateCon, he would have more subscribers than anybody there.
But it
No.
is time to get to the show on No America, so I got to do my part. But so I'll see you guys around.
We got to get Apostate Prophet to debate this guy on something because he got to have something. To
Later,
do.
guys.
No. This is a Jay Dyer level debate, I'll have you know. Well, wait. He's got the event drink.
Oh, he's from Minnesota, or where is he? What's the CH? I forgot what that was. Don't look at me like that.
Debate prompt.
Hello
What makes
YouTube,
it
how's everybody doing out there today? Today me and the Wizard Man again. Today I'm going to be making a special drink. It's sort of wedding, anniversaries.
Things
You know,
I've
stuff
never
like
been
that.
invited to.
So, first off, I got my glass. Yes, my little glass. Yee. Second, I got my hot sauce, habanero hot sauce. Yay! And I also got, this is a new one, root beer. Yes, I got root beer. That's not all. And as you seen in the little short that we got, we made this with, oh, I got this. Yes, everybody knows this from the short. This is cool. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So, first of all, yes, of course, we're going to be getting pickles. Yes, we can open up the bag. Oh, wow. Ooh, oh, my. Ooh, smell. These smell
Oh,
spicy.
sure. I'll
I
do
don't
that
know.
now.
I have no idea about this, people.
Rex. Oh yeah, sure. Just let me smell through the video.
Right.
Dude, he looks like he's looking in the bag and at his other ingredients at the same time.
Oh.
And look at all this random shit that he's got.
Oh, my
Dude, he's got a
gosh.
YouTube play button.
Oh man.
All this like deep intellectual shit that you and I put out, and this guy just fucking mixes chips and hot sauce and Pepsi.
You know,
We're doing
makes-
YouTube on Rex.
Is it weird that it makes me not jealous in a way? Where it's like, you know what? I will keep my integrity, have no YouTube button, but this guy, I can't help feeling bad for this guy though, because he's got to have like no friends telling him the truth that he's listening to. I mean, at one point, here's what I think of when I think of guys like this. At one point, he was a child, a little baby that had a mother that loved him, and somewhere along the way,
Something
through
went
a
wrong.
series of events, he's putting hot sauce with pickles in his soda, and the connective tissue in between, no idea. Sport brand said he was supposed to keep it there for someone who really meant it. Oh
That's
my
really fucking funny.
gosh. Oh my gosh. By the way, Steele, I've actually never seen you play, but I know you have a guitar.
I don't play on stream because I have an apartment and I can't because I'm like, surrounded by other people.
Oh, well, I'm an inconsiderate neighbor.
If it was daytime, I'd pull it out. The guitar. I'd pull out the guitar.
I didn't even go there, dude. So I was fully contextual.
It's YouTube. Come on, let's be realistic here. But yeah, no, Nate, thanks for coming up, man. If you get if you get your signal back, you're more than welcome to come back on. Then I'll go back to this guy.
Oh, and Oriole's over here someplace. Can't see her. She's off camera. And she's okay.
How did you discover this guy?
My brother sent it to
Wow,
me out of
look at that
nowhere.
nice big pickle.
My brother just no context
Go in
just
the
sent me the
glass.
Pepsi, the hot sauce and Pepsi video, and gave no other context. Just sent me that, and I was like, "What? Okay." I'm still laughing at sports brand though. He promised to keep an eye on someone. That was so fucking funny. But this is the event drink.
Smells spicy though. Wow.
I gotta get a
Two.
drink.
Three. Oh my gosh. Four.
Are you as
There you
disturbed as I am right now?
Now we're gonna do the pop.
Yes.
Nice
Yes.
crack
I
and
am.
hiss.
Oh, he's mixing it with root beer?
Yeah. It looks like he's trying to remove his remaining teeth.
Then we're gonna do the hot sauce. Habanero hot sauce, yes. Good for weddings.
What?
Why is that slosh emanating from the inside of a glass bottle? How loud is that possible? I mean,
I have no idea, dude.
it sounds like a sound studio filled that in for him because it's so loud.
Right. I've had a bottle of hot sauce in my hand. It's never been that loud before. But also, who the fuck takes habanero hot sauce to a wedding?
Even at like a Mexican wedding, people would look at you like, "What are you doing?" You know, like. I mean, maybe Hillary Clinton does because that's her thing. She keeps it in her purse all the time. But this guy,
I forgot about that. Fucking Hillary Clinton pulled the bottle of hot sauce out of her purse.
Yeah. But, as Teriak would say, this guy.
This fucking guy.
Oh my gosh.
You can tell how good hot sauce is by the sound.
As you know, for wine you sniff the cork. For hot sauce you just shake it, and if it sounds unworldly loud, then it's good hot sauce.
I've always wanted to go to a wine tasting and just take get handed a glass of wine and swirl it in my ear and then go no and just hand it back.
Just wear an ascot when you do that, and some
you gotta wear an
loafers.
ascot. The ascot is required, but just to fuck with people. That's an ungodly amount of hot sauce in there.
Yes. That should be enough.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna stir stick.
There was enough hot sauce in it before you poured it in there.
Magical stir stick pen. We stir this all up.
He's using a pen.
What? Wait, what? Hold up. 600,000 subscribers, probably monetized.
Oh, he's
you're
monetized.
using
Yeah,
a
you can become a member to his channel.
And
For
you're
99
using
cents.
a pen to, I mean, what is it? Is there some kind of Sharpie aroma that goes into this that makes it a secret sauce? Oh my gosh, it just creeped out of the subterranean caverns.
Oh god, what the fuck, man? Look.
Magical stir stick pen. We stir this all up.
I keep coughing and laughing and I got a headache. This is not going well.
Who is the I'm disappointed
nice
my day is
joke.
ruined guy?
What?
Remember that kid, the Daily Report, where he's got that super slick back hair, young guy, super thin, and he does reviews of sandwiches from fast food restaurants. He's part of the meme. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Vaguely, I vaguely know what you're talking about.
He needs to do a food review with this guy, or have this guy chef him up some of his concoctions. See how
So,
disappointed he is.
Cheers,
after that.
everybody. Let's see if we can get this down the gutter.
I would get that down a literal gutter. Oh my gosh.
Dude, that probably have you probably use that to clear a gutter.
Yeah, I mean, forget Drano, whatever he's got. You know, let's use that.
I am the pause champion over here. But 600,000 subscribers.
All right, Steele. We got to start doing live streams, just drinking absolute dog crap going forward, because that's how the money's made around here.
Apparently.
Sell your dignity, pimp out your dignity as a human being, and people will give you love and attention for it.
The term that that I would describe him as he has summer teeth.
Summer teeth.
Some are here, some are not here, some are not in the mouth.
Now I get it. More dad jokes.
Whoa! Whoa! Wow! Whew!
He turned into Popeye.
Oh, that's spicy. That will definitely cure you. Oh,
Oh, what will that cheer me up?
oh, that's spicy. Wow.
What did you
Holy.
expect?
Whew. Wow, I don't put too much hot sauce again. That's his way.
Oh, jeez. You ever heard of pizza? Or like, I don't know, food? Like, why you gotta... Oh, man. What kind of YouTuber do you have in your algorithm now? Your algorithm is cursed because of your brother.
What's this? What did I find? Oh no.
Is he gonna
Hello,
eat whatever you
YouTube.
found?
This is me, Marty, again. How you guys doing today? I have some show and tell today.
Please don't.
He's looking at the camera and at you, Rex.
It's all perspective, I guess.
And stuff like that.
He knew he'd be doing this.
What I'm going to show you first is this what we found a screwdriver and stuff in the
He's
backyard
gonna use that to
metal
stir his
detector.
next drink.
Then I'm going to show you
This random shit he found in his
a
jar.
butter knife. that we found metal detecting.
What the?
Did you,
And it was
is
pretty
that after you
interesting
removed it
because
from
we
the
thought it
wound?
was
Did he pull this out of his victim?
Yeah, it's like he stab, snap. Ooh, a good stir stick.
silver coin. Then we also found a spark plug. I don't know what it's off of, what car.
hold on,
If
question,
anybody
question,
knows, let me know in the comments.
Who is we? Does he have an accomplice? What is going on here?
What's the channel's name?
Okay, is he claiming
what's
to
his
be
channel?
multiple people, or is he talking
his
about?
channel's name is M&J Metal.
Okay,
I have no idea.
Comment section.
is he
And
M and
I
J
also
simultaneously?
He's got to keep an eye on Jay over there.
Is Jay filming the camera right now?
real small, a little bullet thingy I found. If you can see it,
Oh,
I don't know what
not
size
sus
it
at
is.
all.
So if anybody in comments can tell me, please let me know.
I found
And we
Hunter
found
Biden's
another
laptop.
spark plug. You know, stuff like that. Just junk. And we found this thingy. We don't know what it is. I don't know what it's off of.
Then how are you going to show and tell?
This video has almost 200,000 views.
Sadness. Sport Brand says archaeologist and mixologist. He's a Renaissance man.
And I found a bolt. Look at the bolt. Nice bolt. And Jamie's giving me a square nail. Which she's off camera, but right there's a square-headed nail. See? Well. Sorry.
Why does his show and tell just look like a forensics department?
I found this thing. You see? Don't you see? I found this thing.
Yeah.
Look, I also found this thing. I found this thing.
Okay, the showing and the telling are simultaneously nullifying themselves with your presentation, sir.
Sorry. Yep. Then we also found this thingy here. We don't know what it's off of. Then I found an old electrical thing, which is pretty good.
Pretty good.
You know, I don't know. Seems to be pretty good.
For what?
Is that a pickup?
It
Was
could be, but it's so corroded, it could be
I
anything.
know. It kind of looks like
If anybody knows what
pickup. It kind of looks like a
plug-in
guitar pickup or a guitar bridge,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
put it in here. Yeah.
What kind of guitar is that? A PRS?
That's a
SE?
PRS SE24 35th anniversary with abalone bird inlays. And
No, it doesn't have the Floyd Rose though.
no, it has a regular trem. The Floyd Rose is on my Kramer. Well, it's a Goto, but same idea. That's on my Kramer Assault 220.
My Floyd Rose is on the Jackson.
Ooh, have you seen my Les Paul? It got souped up recently.
I don't think I've seen your Les Paul.
All right, BRB. You and the funny man get cozy.
You know, Les Paul's my favorite. That's my guitar.
Oh.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty good. What else did we find, guys?
comes off of, let me know. And a big bolt right here. Pretty big bolt. Then another bolt. Seem to be finding lots of bolts around this house.
Does
Oh,
this
and
man
this is
have
the
a
most
job?
interesting find of all.
So this still needs some work, but it's got some work done already. So we got the gold pickup covers, we got new gold frets, we got gold hip shot tuners, and it still needs some work. But this is unbelievably beautiful. I love this so much, and it sounds great. I'm taking it back because it does still need some work sound wise, like with the jack needs to be readjusted, and some of the frets need to be worn down a little bit because I like lower action. But man, the tone, especially on the bridge pickup, is excellent. I could see if I could adjust it just to see if it's doable.
No, you don't. If you don't, if you're not, I don't know if you're comfortable with doing that or not. But if not, don't mess with it. Like it's super easy to fuck up a guitar.
It is a
He found a poker chip. He found a poker chip, bro.
$500,000 poker chip.
What? He found a poker chip worth $500,000, which says $5,000. What is going on here? Oh, I see. He's counting extra zeros. That's what it is. He's looking at the. We don't see the rest of the zeros. They're off camera. I gotta show that to Rex. Hold on. Rex, hurry up and get back over here. You gotta see this. This is fucking wild. I can't believe this guy's channel has this many subscribers.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. You got to see this.
Yeah.
He
Unfortunately, the Les Paul still needs work, but it's so beautiful. All right, next.
Very pretty guitar. Hold on. He found a poker chip.
Oh, that's gonna come in handy when.
It is a $500,000 poker chip.
What's wrong with that?
We're missing a zero here.
See, the thing is, Rex, the rest of the zeros are off camera. But he sees them. Don't worry.
They are tangentially existing off of the poker chip itself.
Now, while the cameras were off, I actually went back and I added some protein.
Now, I don't.
Have you never seen that video? Hold on. I don't want to.
No.
I can't watch anymore. This guy. Hold on though.
Oh gosh. I was just gonna say, hey, it's good to see you back streaming.
Yeah, I've been off for a few weeks. Had to do some adulting stuff, but this is the video. Hold on.
Today, I'm going to show you how to make the perfect protein shake. The first thing you're going to want to do is put in a scoop of protein. I'm going to add about a cup of almond milk to the mix. Then you're going to add some protein, and then I usually throw in a whole banana. Then we're going to add some protein. Now, of course, it wouldn't really be a shake without some ice cubes. So we're going to add some protein, take some ice cubes, dip them in protein, throw them in the mix, then add some protein, and then, and only then, can you add some protein and blend. Today, I'm going to show.
Oh man, that wasn't the whole thing. Hold on, fuck, that wasn't it. Oh, here it is.
Welcome to my hungry milk to the mix. Cubes. So we're going to add some protein, take some ice cubes, dip them in protein, throw them in the mix, then add some protein, and then, and only then, can you add some protein and blend. Now, while you guys weren't looking, I actually went back and added some protein. Once everything's all blended, you can pour the contents out into a glass, add some protein, and now you can finally add some protein and enjoy your beverage.
I call it the sandbox. Needs more hot sauce.
The protein.
I forgot the protein.
I got to.
But that's
Welcome to my hungry.
He skipped the pickles.
That's true. Where's the hot sauce?
Pickles and hot sauce. And maybe throw in like a rusty nail or something and an old pickup.
Yeah, but he had to add some protein.
Oh my gosh. Now I get it.
What?
I said now I get it.
No, I'm
What's going on?
By the way, this is really fun to do to fuck with people, this video. It's 1 hour of silence, occasionally broken up by Michael Jackson noises.
Oh no. It's like Backrooms, but with Michael Jackson.
Hi, everybody.
Oh no. Okay.
Kyle, Sammy.
Stillborn,
Yeah.
have a good night.
Hold on, I did not realize that's what this was.
Yeah. I know what Avarice would say if he was still on this panel.
It literally just said avarice or not avarice. It just said Capri Sun. I was like, wait, what? So I clicked on it.
Oh my god. childish.
I had something that I was going to originally review, and I totally forgot what that was. You got any? You got something that you want to review, Rex?
At this hour, I was supposed to go to bed. Then I saw you were live, so I couldn't resist. I wanted to say hello. But at some point, Objective Ethics and somebody else was on Sarah Tomato's channel, and they were debating. It was a 2-on-2 debate on whether or not God does or ground morality or can ground morality. So I got to have an interaction with Objective Ethics before then, because what he said, and he didn't have like a clear, I think he had to go, but he didn't have a clear response to this. But he was saying that you can ground logic without God because logic itself is the necessary precondition for all possible worlds. And so therefore, because that's true, you don't need God. But I said, but the law of identity wouldn't exist unless there's identities actually in things themselves, and identities are abstractions. Identities are not the same thing as the thing itself. And so they need to be prescribed before we recognize them in order to be true. So you can't have that just in the abstract without identities. So therefore, if you can get an identity wrong, then that means that the better explanation is a mind that actually assigns the identities to that thing objectively. So if I'm a human being and then somebody else says you're not a human being, there's got to be an actual transcendent tiebreaker between who is right and who's wrong for the identity. And he didn't have an immediate answer for that. He also kind of dodged what you helped me with, which was the brute fact dilemma. He didn't really answer the question of whether there was a methodology. He just reasserted what a brute fact is. And I pushed it to say that, well, the brute fact is just a negation of an explanation. It doesn't have an ontology in and of itself, Well,
that's the problem. Yeah, the problem with the brute fact is the criterion problem. Essentially, is like, well, what's the standard for determining what is a brute fact versus what's not a brute fact? Is that standard a brute fact? No, the standard is more fundamental than a brute fact itself. So therefore, brute facts can't actually exist.
Right, because the brute fact being an explanation nullifies its brute fact status. Because then there would be a prior condition by which the brute fact is dependent upon. Therefore, that would be an explanation of the brute fact.
You know what? I got one that you might be interested in. A little topic here. Let's see. What are your thoughts on ADS?
I have no idea what that is.
Absolute divine simplicity.
Oh, you're gonna do the whole divine energies or whatever. I need to actually study up on that more. So I thought it was interesting what you brought up when I visited your church in terms of the essence energy distinction. I remember saying to myself, I could see why you would say that. So
my argument is actually that Catholics can't use tag. Essentially, that's the argument. Is that Catholics?
Well, we say that. Well, we say that too. But one of the things that maybe I mentioned this to you already, but Catholics can't actually know if they're married or not, because what they say about what do they use? Annulments means that the marriage was never real. But you can't ever know if a marriage was real if you're always open to an annulment, and it's always possible that your marriage could be annulled in the future.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've never understood with the Catholic position of like they don't grant divorce, but they'll grant an annulment, which is literally just
is Catholic divorce, even if they deny it. It is Catholic divorce.
Catholic divorce. Like, even if it's not functioning the same thing, it's like, well, then you're just retconning the fact that you were married.
They go into I call it going into the DeLorean, going back in time and stopping yourself from being married, via the Catholic clergy.
Yeah, you're literally retconning it. Like,
yeah.
There's a bit from Rick and Morty about that.
About annulments?
No, about there's an episode where they're in like the metaverse, and like everything, all the bad guys are like super meta characters.
Mm-hmm.
Or like they're it's like the whole thing's supposed to be like breaking the fourth wall. And it's really annoying.
Okay.
And one of the guys' names, his name is like, he's like, this is Brett Kahn. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, he's Brett Kahn. He can retcon anything. And they're like, but Rhett's already a name. Why isn't his name just retcon? And then the guy is like, it is, and it always was.
All right. Why don't you just pitch me the divine simplicity versus essence energy distinction so I can think about it?
Okay, so the idea of the essence energy distinction from the Orthodox view is that that God's operations are eternal, they are Him, but they're not or they are distinct from His essence themselves, from His essence itself. So, for example, logic or God's grace, God's glory, they're not identical to who God is himself. Like they're not they're not identical to each other. There's a real distinction between them. We can participate with and interact with God's energies or his operations, creation, glory, grace, love, knowledge, things like that. We can interact with those.
Okay.
We can't interact with God's essence. We wouldn't even be able to. It would kill us if we were to actually interact with God's essence itself.
Okay.
The Catholic view. So the argument the Catholics make, it doesn't make sense to me. And I've talked to a bunch of Catholics about this, is they say, well, you can't have real distinction between God's operations and his identity, because otherwise it would divide it would divide God, or make God composite, or make God into parts.
Interesting.
And it's like, no, because you don't hold that same standard for the Trinity. There's real distinction in the Trinity. God's not made of parts. And it's like, and the same thing applies to us. It's like my operation. If I do something, if I build something, that is me doing the action. It is me building. But
you would agree. Hold on. You would agree that truth is you would agree that truth is a person, right?
Yeah, truth is a person.
Because even Jim Bob, who's Orthodox, would say that. I don't know if Jim Bob is blessed to do apologetics. He probably is. But he doesn't. No, he's probably not, because he doesn't use doctrine as much. He uses more like logic. But anyway,
it depends on what it is.
Okay. So truth is a person. So anything. Why would truth not be distinct from God, but God's operations be distinct from God, even though we have to operate?
No, they're not distinct from God. Like, as in, they're distinct from his identity. His operations are.
Explain the difference between being
essence.
distinct from God and being distinct from his identity.
Like, no,
because the truth is a person.
Yes, his essence and his operations are distinct things. What God does versus what God is.
Mm-hmm. So define does, because God merely has to exist in order for truth to be established, right?
Yes, but creation.
Mm-hmm. I agree that what God creates is separate and distinct from him, obviously.
Well, is the act of creation, the act of doing something, it is co-eternal. Like, it is not co-eternal. It is eternal. It is God. It is God doing the thing, but it's not identical to him. Like, it's not identical to God himself. So, like, the perfect example of, or like Jay has a great analogy for this, which is like, if I build a house, when the act of me building the house, I'm there. It requires me to do it, but it's not identical to me, the person. It's an operation that I did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not identical to me, the person, but it is like, what's the term? I'm trying to remember the specific term that he uses. It's distinct from my identity and my essence, but
it's an outgrowth of your person.
Yes,
in a sense.
Yes. It's more so like an effect. So the reason that the Orthodox have the essence energy distinction is because, so if you follow the line of absolute divine simplicity, which, by the way, this is the official Catholic position. So you go, okay, God's operations are identical to his essence. And they're like, yes. And they're like, there's no distinction between them, no real distinction. And they're like, yes. And they're like, okay. And we can't interact with God's essence.
Yeah.
And they're like, yes. And you're like, okay. So this is why the Catholics never argue the theophanies.
Hold on. Why do I stay up so late and torment my body?
But yeah, this is why the Catholics never argue the theophanies as like one of their arguments
against like people in general,
against anybody, like against the Muslims or whatever. Like they just won't make the argument for the theophanies because they say that it's a created effect.
Interesting, because
like when God's glory appeared before the Israelites,
yeah,
or when Jacob wrestled with God, that wasn't actually God. That was like a projected image or a created effect. I'm dead. This is the actual Catholic position.
Yeah, well, I've
This is
never,
why-
as a Protestant, we typically, because we're Western, we typically adhere to divine simplicity. But I don't know much about that doctrine, so I can't actually speak to that to any good effect tonight for you. But I've never heard that in my life.
Hold on, real quick. Let me see if I can find the clip. Jay Dyer literally gets Tim Gordon to admit that God's glory is a creature.
I'm guessing Tim Gordon's Catholic.
Yeah, he's one of the honestly, he's probably the best Catholic apologist I've ever heard. Very, very smart guy. Multiple master's degrees in philosophy, like different things like that. But this is like right here.
Okay. In Leviticus 9, what comes down in that theophany is called the glory of God. Is God's glory a creature?
Yes.
God's glory is a creature.
Yes. God's
You're a
glory.
polytheist.
No.
You
No.
called the divine,
God- no,
the
I'm
divine
not-
glory is a creature?
It just sounds
because
weird to
it's
me.
created. Yes.
God's glory is created.
Like I said at the beginning.
Yeah, that's the entailment. God's glory is created because they can't have real distinction from their view. And here's the really funny part as to why. And Jay Dyer perfectly tackled this in this debate when they got to the doctrine of the filioque,
Mhm.
which is okay. So
I'm familiar with the filioque.
yeah, so but I'm just going to summarize it for anybody in the chat who's not familiar.
Yeah.
So the filioque is a doctrine that the Catholic Church established in roughly like 1000 AD, somewhere around there. We'll go rough idea. But basically what it says is that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son. Now the Orthodox view is that no, the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father. That's it. So here is the Catholic argument: is that in order for they have a doctrine, part of absolute divine simplicity, which is called actus purus, meaning that God is pure act, meaning there is nothing that God can do that he isn't doing. Right? So what they say is God can't have passive potency. There's nothing that God can do that he's not actively doing. It's weird. It's like I started looking at it. This was one of the main reasons I didn't go the Catholic route.
As a conservative theological Protestant, I have never heard that either, ever, anywhere. So
yeah, so God can't have passive potency. So they say, okay, so the reason why the Holy Spirit has to proceed from the Father and the Son is because the Father and the Son are equal, and they're equal in their power or whatever. I'm trying to be super charitable to the Catholics here. Mm-hmm. They're equal in their power. If they're equal and God can't have passive potency, then the Father can't have something, or the Father can't do something that the Son can't do. In the sense that there can't be something that God can do that he isn't doing. The Son also has to be involved in each of the acts. In each of the acts. So if the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son spirates the Spirit, that's the actual Catholic dogma, is that the Holy Spirit is spirated by the Son. The Son actively... What the fuck spirate means? I have no idea, and I haven't found a good definition. But that's what they say. The Son spirates the Spirit. And you go, okay. And then Jay asks a great question. Who does the Holy Spirit spirate?
yeah, there would be no doctrine like that.
The Holy Spirit. Well, if God can't have passive potency, and if the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father, and he's spirated by the Son, well, who either proceeds from the Holy Spirit or is spirated by the Spirit?
Yeah, my understanding was they had different, distinct roles that have played out through eternity. I like the eternal submission of the Son to the Father, which is not reciprocated by the Father to the Son or the Holy Spirit any other way.
But what does who does the Spirit spirate? Well, the Catholic answer is the Spirit passively spirates.
Well, spirates who?
Great question.
It's himself, I guess, would be the answer.
No, there is no
understand.
answer. It's passive. He passively spirates. But I thought God couldn't have passive potency.
Okay. So
Do you see the problem with like the dilemma
I'm going to
that the Catholics are in here?
yeah, so I'm going to assume that number one, this is distinct Catholic stuff because we went through divine simplicity and I just don't remember where it was at my church, but I have heard none of these frameworks before. I've heard none of this theology before, so this is not representative of any divine simplicity that I am. Aquinas.
Yeah, this comes from Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, this is nothing I'm familiar with whatsoever. But I'm looking right now to see what the Reformed Baptist, well, it's not even Reformed, it's just Reformed theology would say about simplicity, because there was a chapter on simplicity. But this is fascinating to learn about.
This was why I couldn't go Catholic, and why I ultimately say that Catholics can't use tag.
Yeah, so demonstrate a Catholic using tag and getting choked on their own doctrines.
So, okay. So from the Orthodox view, the transcendental argument is that the transcendental categories, things like logic, truth, knowledge, all of those can be grounded in the energy, or all those can be grounded in God and God's nature. And the reason why we have access to them is because we have we can actively participate in the energies of God.
Okay.
That's due to the essence energy distinction. We can actively participate in the energies of God. That's why we have access to logic, knowledge, truth, all of these different things. The Catholic view is that we don't have access to God's knowledge, or we don't have access to God's wisdom, God's glory, God's grace. It's created grace. Or the actual dogmatic term from Thomas Aquinas is created intellectual light.
So I think about when Simeon was in the temple. He's an old man waiting for the Messiah to come. He sees baby Jesus, and he holds him in his hands and says, now thy servant can depart in peace, for my eyes have seen salvation. And I also take salvation to be a person and not just a thing or a creation.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
For what it's worth, that's just a note as you're expounding. So keep going.
But yeah, so where would the Catholic get choked up? Well, the Catholic would get choked up in Descartes' demon. Descartes' demon was a very good challenge to Catholic theology. It doesn't apply to Orthodox theology, though. So Descartes' demon of, well, how do you know?
So that's the evil God. Well, what do you think?
No, Descartes' demon is just, how do you know it's not a demon tricking you?
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was a demon tricking you, then it would be true that it was a demon tricking you. And since God's a necessary precondition of truth, we can at least have truth.
Well, it's true that we can have truth, but how do you know what you know? How do you know what you know? It's an epistemic question with the Descartes' demon thing. The reason why it's much harder for Catholics is because, well, their view is that ultimately their epistemology is grounded in a created effect that God puts in their head. It's created intellectual light. Well, if the knowledge is created, it's subject to change.
Explain.
Yeah, can God change his creation?
Yep. So you're saying
I'm not actively participating in the unchanging nature of God. Instead, God's creating an effect within me. Okay. Which would then make that would now make knowledge not universal.
Interesting. Let's see. Glory, God's infinity, doctrine of God's sovereign purpose.
Got real dark. We got real deep in here on my first stream back.
Well, I brought up objective ethics, and we talked about what do we talk about? Root facts and the grounding, and then law of identity, and how law of identity needs identities to be assigned. It can't just be law of identity cannot be an empty ice cube tray. It has to be existent within a universe where things that have identities that we must recognize. And that
I honestly love that I realized this one day, and I don't remember if it was me who like pointed this out to Eli, or Eli's the one who pointed it out to me now. I think Eli's the one who pointed it out. He was kind of working through it. No, I remember now. He was working through this like in his own head, and then he and I were talking about it, and we kind of I made the click, and we both realized, oh fuck, this is devastating to the atheist, which is just to ask a simple question to demonstrate the universality of the laws of logic is, can you imagine a world where the laws of logic don't apply?
Well, that was objective ethics thing, is because the laws of logic have to exist in all possible worlds. Therefore, it follows that it doesn't require God, because then it would have to exist in a godless universe. But I would think that if you would bite that bullet, you've actually tacitly admitted that God is required for every possible universe, because the laws of logic include the law of identity.
Yeah, the necessary grounding for the laws of logic would have to be a God. It would have to be universal, invariant, and material mind.
But specifically, the law of identity, I think, illustrates this best, because identity is not the same thing as the thing itself. My physical body is not my identity, right? Either as an individual or as a human. The concept of humanity is a valid concept and a true concept, independent of whether I exist or not, or independent of whether I think it is or not. Same thing, like if you look at the carpet on your floor or wood floor or whatever you got, the concept of the wood floor in your head is not the same thing as the wood floor itself.
Yeah, the thought is there. Yeah, so the immaterial concept is separate from the concrete. I agree with that. But the interesting part about this is the reason why that hypothetical demonstrates the universality of the laws of logic is just because you ask them, can you imagine a world where the laws of logic don't apply? It's self-refuting to say yes. The second you imagine anything, it has to be itself. So now we have the law of identity. It can't be itself and not itself. So now we have the law of non-contradiction, and it either is itself or it's not itself. Now we have the law of excluded middle.
Yeah. Actually,
the second you imagine anything exists, the laws of logic apply.
If you are looking to sample something, I'm going to go to Zillzone's YouTube channel, because that's exactly where I was today. And we actually, for a moment, it was me and Objective Ethics reviewing part of my exchange with T-Jump. So let me see if I can get you a timestamp.
I forgot that guy was even a thing.
Oh, he's a thing. He is a thing for sure. Let me see where exactly that is. I can get you a timestamp. Oh man, it's real early. Hold up. Yeah. Let's see if we start debating. There's a private chat in this thing, right?
Sports Brand says, I came for the hot sauce pickle soda recipes and stayed for the philosophy.
Yeah, that's typical on YouTube. All right, where is the private chat? Up in here. Do we even have a private chat in this program?
Yeah, top right.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Someone called for paint chips and diesel. It's still there. All right. I gave you a timestamped part. Maybe we start debating here.
Is this the Zillzone thing?
This is Zillzone. It's a panel with me, Andy, Hutling, Objective Ethics, and Zillzone.
Okay, hold on. I gotta pull this up. Okay, hold on. I gotta share it. Let me know if you can hear this real quick. Oh, hold on. There's no sound yet.
Oh, the timestamp didn't work, huh?
No. There's no sound on my... Oh, that's because I hit pause.
You know what?
Oh, it's just loading. That's why.
Let me...
Oh, can you hear this real quick?
Nope.
You got nothing? Okay, hold on.
I put a timestamped link in the chat. At least I hope I did.
Nope.
That's also not timestamped?
Just tell me the timestamp.
All right. Go to 1 hour 32 minutes.
All right, hold on. Let me make sure you can hear this real quick.
Have some integrity.
You hear that?
Jeeps.
I hear it. Yeah.
Okay. You
We're
said
good.
what? 1 hour what?
1 hour 32 minutes. Or even forgiveness. What do they call it in law? Not alimony, not parsimony. What do they call it in law? When you forgive somebody, or a pardon.
T-jump. I forgot about T-jump.
I'm trying to find the exact word. Somebody knows it. But anyway, so Yeah, whatever the schematic would be, it has to align with the maximum amount of people doing what they will. That would be the best possible world. And so he thinks that if God were above us, the best thing he could do for us is send down a tablet where we push a button and we get our own universe. So it's kind of like atheistic Mormonism, as I would describe it.
Atheistic
and
Mormonism.
to Robin Webster, just to address what you said earlier about forgiveness, from the Christian worldview.
Hold on a second. We gotta address this real quick. There are places that the laws of logic don't apply. Dreams and paradoxes. Well, it's still applying dreams. But by the way, dreams don't comport to reality necessarily.
A dream is a dream. A dream is not a non-dream. You can't be dreaming and not dreaming at the same way at the same time. And there's nothing between a dream and not dream that exists. So, I mean, if you're talking about logic within a dream, I mean, everything would be conceptually fluid.
Well, not only that, but you could say the question about whether or not logic would apply within dreams. I think that the question's poorly formulated. It would be more so. I'm not saying you formulated the question. It was just like the way I was thinking about it in my head. The problem would be it might not be that necessarily the laws of logic don't apply within dreams, but your perception of reality within dreams is not accurate.
I mean, you could also, if you wanted to, you could apply that to like the laws of logic don't apply if I'm on drugs.
Yeah, same idea exactly. And not only that, so paradoxes. That's the problem with a paradox. Is like, well, the question for the philosophy bros is like, how do you deal with the paradox? Like the liar's paradox is a great question, and especially while it's true there are different systems of logic, and people like Tom Jump seem to think that you could just kind of pick and choose which system of logic you're using for what. No, that's not how logic works. It's not philosophy's fault that Tom Jump doesn't understand anything about philosophy.
The classic line.
But so the interesting thing about the classical laws is, people like a lot of these atheists will try to say that the classical laws are incomplete or they are insufficient because they can't account for things like the liar's paradox, which is the sentence is false. The problem with the liar's paradox is that it is a self-referential statement making a truth claim about the statement that negates the truth claim of the statement. It's ultimately self-refuting. Because like you can't make a truth claim within the statement about the statement that negates its truthfulness. But if you were to say this statement is true, that's not a paradox. But it also just doesn't tell us anything. So that statement is kind of I think it'd be kind of circular, or just like it doesn't really tell us anything. But so the paradox thing, it's not that classical logic can't account for the paradox, it's that it doesn't have enough information. Like watch, I'll give you a perfect example. Rex, using only classical logic, can you tell me whether or not this statement is true? It rains sometimes.
No.
That's not true?
Well, it is a true statement, but the laws of logic do not have within themselves information about meteorology.
Well, not only that, it doesn't tell me anything. It just says it rains sometimes. When is sometimes? You need to get more specific, which is the purpose of, which is actually the mark of a good debater, somebody who can actually get into the granular and actually get into the definitions of things so that I understand what you're talking about. Once I get enough context, it rains sometimes, in Nevada.
Right.
It doesn't rain under the ocean.
Right. But and then what my question is getting at is, what is rain? The law of identity cannot identify anything. The law of identity is void of identifying power. It only is reflexive upon the fact that things have identity, which would only make sense if there was a cognitive mind that would identify and distinguish things prior to our understanding of it.
Yeah. Look, it's not philosophy. Look, the reality of sports, Brandon, is that it's not philosophy's fault that you don't understand philosophy. God, did he fucking said that shit to Eli so many times? It was so annoying.
Yeah, it's the passive aggressive stuff.
He's so pretentious.
We are obligated to forgive our enemies as because that's what God would have us do because he prefers mercy over punishment where that can be done. So where else does Robin say? I agree that as far as God goes, he's not obligated to forgive anybody when he's been wronged, but as far as people, our commandment is to forgive each other.
Well, I have a whole different take on forgiveness myself, to be honest with you, and it's not even necessarily specifically revolving around the moral conversation. We could definitely tie it to that, but for me, the practical approach to forgiveness is understanding that when you forgive something, when you forgive somebody of something, you're not doing anything for the other person. It's all about what you're doing for yourself. You are relieving yourself of this negative energy, right? Whoa. Which is why forgiveness is so important, because we tend to think of it as something that we extend to another person. I forgive you for harming me, right? Well, what I'm really doing is releasing myself of this negative energy. Now, I don't have to trust you. I'm not saying you people here as the example, right? The invisible you out there. I don't have to trust the person who's harmed me. I don't have to let them back into my life, but I don't have to carry any negative energy around about that person or that situation because I've forgiven that situation, right? So that's how I view forgiveness, which is a bit of a different approach.
Well, I actually think what you say is true, and it's incorporated with that we are not having any bitterness, and we also benefit from it. But I also think that it's, I gotta spend more time. Thinking about that. But I also agree. I think you and I would agree that we don't actually release the person from the guilt. There's no transference of guilt to no longer guilty. They're still guilty of what they did, and you can't unilaterally erase that. But what we can do is have a form of taking the blow and not seeking vengeance. And we can't hear you, Stillborn.
I knew that I knew I was gonna do it.
Unmute, dude.
But
right,
by the way,
as we say.
Rex, you should check out Talk Studio. This is it's like Streamlabs or not Streamlabs. It's like StreamYard, except it's like way cheaper and it's actually like way more intuitive.
Except for the sound, apparently.
That was just because it was so it wasn't where I would thought it would be. It wasn't in my settings. I had to go to my mute button or like my microphone button. Click up on that, like on the settings on that, and then go to my audio output in there. And it was just because it was set to my microphone instead of my earbuds.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. So it does wind up to a debate at some point. But what I think I'm winding up to is the fact that if forgiveness is a real act, it must be foundationally true. Otherwise, it's an illusion. And so for that to be real, the foundation of reality would have to be God, and that God would have to have forgiveness as part of his not only prescriptive will, but also what he does in and of himself. He can offer mercy and he can deal out justice, and he is wronging nobody by giving that to whoever.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
God's not the cosmic bean counter, essentially.
Otherwise, justice is an illusion if it's merely conventional, and forgiveness is an illusion if it's merely conventional. And if
it loses meaning.
And then if the atheist says that we ought to pursue what is true and we ought to refuse what is false.
No. If the atheist says we ought to anything ever.
I get that. But let's check this out though. Even if we just granted them that they ought to do what is true, and we ought to have what is true and we ought to reject what is false. Then if forgiveness is false, we ought to not forgive, because there's no nuance left between all their brute facts in order to allow for forgiveness. In fact, if they maintain that we ought to do what is true and reject what is false, then we have to not forgive. And we have to not do justice either, because justice isn't actually real either. So that puts them in a weird spot.
Yeah, if we have no obligation to forgive, and we also have no obligation for justice because it doesn't actually exist, and it's just ultimately it's a social construction at that point.
Right. Debate's coming up though.
I have a question though for you, real quick.
Sure.
What the hell's the deal with who we got back here? Oh, we got Noma class. Hold on.
Hey.
What's up,
we got the guy who lives in the last Muslim country. It's, I think, still in the World Cup. How is England doing in the World Cup? I have no idea. I don't follow soccer.
Neither do I. I don't follow football either, right? You know, I've got.
By the way, you know,
more
soccer was a
pressing
term that was like started by the
concerns.
British.
Yeah, association,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
We invented that shit.
But
One sec. My
I have a so what's the deal with Zilzone? Okay, I can't get a read on him. Like I remember he hopped up on ZK and he was just like, "I'm better than all of you. I own this shit." And then he proceeded to Spurg and Easy's chat for the entire rest of the stream.
I think he just likes to have fun, and trolling is part of his fun.
Is it just trolling?
He picks. I think so, because he picks fights with people I'm not picking fights with in terms of like debate, you know, and he'll just be like, "Yeah, come on, get it, sucker," and I'm just chilling. I don't need any of that, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
He's an interesting character, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's like the habanero hot sauce in my A&W.
Yeah, hold on. We got to show Nomoclast one of those before you get off, just because I want to. Your reactions made that shit 10 times funnier, Rex.
The reconciliation, but that's separate from seeking justice, where justice is required. You can
Hold
forgive.
on, real quick. I'm gonna. We're just gonna.
Yeah, go ahead. Somebody in like a moral realm sense, but seek justice in a civil realm sense, because it deserves justice for society, the good of society, all that stuff.
Justice is extremely important for all the things you just elucidated right there. You're absolutely right. It's extremely important because when we're talking about the whole conversation around morality is about social contract, right? What we ought to do in a group of people. If there's only one person out there in the universe, morality wouldn't even necessarily be in the conversation, because morality is about social contracts.
The social contract is retarded. If it's a contract, then I should be able to withdraw from it. If I never gave consent and I'm unable to withdraw consent, then this is indentured servitude, right?
Hold on.
If I can't,
yes,
if
true,
I can't withdraw
It's a
from
contract
it,
to the point of a
in
gun,
any
no
way,
class.
yeah, fuck that. That's not a contract, bro. That's not a legally enforceable
It is
contract.
now.
If you put a fucking gun
Forced
to my
doctrine, bitch.
head and say I must do it or else, yeah, no. I
That's forced
accept forced
doctrine,
doctrine,
baby.
but the liberals
Full
don't.
steel
The
morality.
liberals don't. You can't say to me, I reject forced doctrine whilst enforcing it upon me. No, right? This is just retardation to the max, right? Like,
I miss
genuinely.
forced doctrine debates. Can we get like some feminists to argue with Andrew on forced doctrine again? Those were so
I
fun
think
to
they're all
watch.
done. I think they're all done. They've seen the pattern. And it's
They're all
over.
done. They
They
all
give
know
up.
that they're losing that debate every single time, right? That's part of the problem.
I missed
Yeah.
Andrew's. Dude, I missed the Andrew's debates with the feminists just because like you got so much useful information about the history of feminism with that.
Yeah.
The problem is that like modern women debate like modern men when it comes to war, right? Like back in the day, back in the Middle Ages, right? You would go to war regardless of whether you thought you were going to win or lose or anything like this, right? It was just purely on the principle, I will go and I will die, right? Whereas modern day, everybody's too fucking like pussyfoot and chicken shit to actually want to do an operation where they might not complete it 100%, right? And I'm like, no, fuck that. Just do it. Just be willing to sacrifice yourself, right?
Yeah,
If you
fight for the
believe in this, fucking do it, right? Not this, oh no, like only if we're guaranteed to fucking win. Only if I'm guaranteed to get exactly what I want with zero consequences.
So
It's never gonna fucking happen.
Nothing
Ever.
ventured, nothing gained.
yes,
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, Rex, you might be able to reach around or reach out and help out with me with getting somebody to debate this prompt with me. I need a
What
prompt.
prompt?
I'm looking for somebody to debate the prompt. The Holocaust versus the Bolshevik Revolution. Which one was actually worse?
Okay. You have fun with that.
I'm not asking
Like,
you to debate me on it. I'm asking you to
that
debate
debate
like
would,
you might be able to-
I know.
literally be illegal. Like in the UK, that debate would literally be illegal.
Well, I'm not sure.
So I can't help with that. I can't help with that.
Yeah. So. Okay. Yeah. I'm not much of a debate organizer as of yet. So.
I just know you got some peoples out there.
I don't know what you mean by that.
You're in
You're gonna-
contact with like you have like friends and like spheres that I don't go into.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think who is like an actual friend who debates, who wants to go into that. Yeah, I can't say I have anyone established like that. I mean, yeah.
Maybe I'll challenge JS.
Maybe,
Bro,
Go ahead.
anybody
Go ahead.
that's smart enough to want to debate that is going to be on the same side as you. This is part of the problem. That like you will never get that debate off of the ground because anybody that's learned enough to be able to debate it is going to be on your side of the debate.
Well, I mean, so I could think like I bet you I could get like some communist who like loves Stalin or Lenin. I feel like I'd get one of them to do it.
Like a tanky. I don't hang around
Even
tankies.
then, I don't think you can like. How many of those actually fucking still exist? Like
The Hassan Pikers of the world.
a tank in 2020. Yeah, but like realistically, let's be honest here, right? Do you think
What about
Hassan
libertarian
Piker
socialist
actually-
rants? Is he making videos still?
Who?
That he's a Scottish guy. He libertarian socialist rants. He used to make really hardcore like socialist videos, like anarchy, socialist, like crazy stuff. Yeah. Anyway,
Please.
I don't know if he debates, but he's certainly passionate about his very fringe far left beliefs.
Justice and mercy.
Remember, guys, it's conservative. I support a woman's right to show her boobs. It's conservative.
Degenerate.
You've heard about this one, right, Rex?
Vaguely. This has to do with recent drama, right?
Yeah, it was a direct quote.
Yeah, that's dumb. Dumb in every dimension.
Yes. All right, back to this.
So, if a
Hold on a sec. Can we address the fucking scroll bar that she has on the bottom here?
person is going to
I just realized that
to engage in it.
Like, no, McClass, look at this for a sec. You gotta look at this shit.
Fuck. 1 sec. Just trying to get pipe cleaners.
Look at what Sarah's like the scroll bar on the bottom of Sarah's thing is.
What's it say? Fuck. Dial 9.
Don't read it out loud.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say those words. Cool.
What the fuck? That's just at the bottom of her panel.
Is that her sponsor? Like, I don't know.
Maybe it's just because everybody knows how boring she is.
Like
Social contract,
you've got to
so we
be
need to have
struggling
justice.
as a fucking streamer if that's what you're putting on your scroll bar, bro.
We need to have consequences for immoral behavior and unethical behavior, because that's what protects the righteousness, if you want to use that word, right? The purity of the people who are acting morally, and also it allows us to identify people who are mentally incapable of understanding or obtaining true moral facts because they have some type of like antisocial personality disorder or whatever it might be that literally physically inhibits them from even understanding or obtaining empathy and the tools that they need, such as reason, to even understand what morality is or why it's important.
This is
I agree that there is
such
increased
nonsense.
culpability with increased knowledge and
Can you pause
increased
it for a quick
what would you
sec?
call it?
I have antisocial personality disorder. You've known me for quite some time. Do you think I can't comprehend empathy?
I couldn't tell any. Yeah, I couldn't
No,
tell
sorry,
any
I'm
deficiency
referring to
whatsoever.
Steelborn.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
because
no, it's
Steelborn's known me for long enough, but I think he could reasonably comment on this, right? Like, do you think I can't comprehend empathy, or do I just not deploy it when I don't think it's warranted?
yeah, it's not the same.
That's literally it, is that I'm not compelled by my biology to deploy empathy when I don't think you deserve it. That's it.
It's not very empathetic of you.
Like, in all honesty, I think that like you guys are faulty because you can't turn it off. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, I can
If somebody, well, that is literally part of the diagnostic criteria. So if you can turn it off, you also have antisocial personality disorder.
Make this man a 5-star general stat.
Well, like the thing is, I've never found empathy to be a good metric for anything. Because like They've done studies on empathy, and I think it's hilarious. So, what empathy is, if you define it, is I see a person, and I usually use it like the way it functions, the way empathy actually functions. What I mean, like when you try and put it into practice, is I see somebody's facial expression, and this has a reaction in my brain to think of a time when I made that facial expression, remember how I feel, and then I try to apply that to that's probably how they feel.
Yeah.
Like that's actually what empathy is in practice. Except we fucking suck at it. We're terrible at it. They've done studies on this where they'll tell somebody put on a sad face, and then they do, and the person walks up and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember when I looked like that," and the person's like, "Yeah, I'm sad," and they're like, "Yeah, I was very sad when my dog died," and the other guy's like, "Yeah, I was really sad when somebody stole my favorite video game." It's like not fucking comparable at all. Right? And they've done studies. We suck at empathy. It's actually not like a skill that most people have as like actually being empathetic. They think they are. Rex,
So you're telling me that I've been diagnosed with multiple disorders just because normies want to lie about how good they are at a certain skill?
Yeah,
and I'm honest about how good I am at that skill, and they're like, "Well, you're wrong then because you're supposed to lie to me about how good you are at it."
Well, I wouldn't say it's a lie, but it's like we just like we think we're better at it than we are.
So okay, that's even worse then. So I am being
well, that's empathy in a super way.
I have been diagnosed with a condition because my ability to like understand myself is better than a normie. I can accurately represent how good I am at these emotional skills, whereas normies are like, no, I'm good at it, even though you're retarded. Whereas I just openly admit I'm retarded.
I think you're overthinking it now.
I don't think I am. No, the way you described it has hit the nail bang on the head.
Rex, you look like you have thoughts behind that giant forehead of yours. What are your thoughts?
I always have thoughts behind my giant forehead.
Yeah, you tell me, bro.
So how's that giant brain?
So yeah, so because it's popular now to refer to empathy as this psychic ability that has no basis in reality, if we're operating off of that definition, then yeah, I can agree that it doesn't exist, but I can agree that there is also a part of a normal person that can be evoked to feel at least some kind of sympathy, even if they can't relate to an individual person's inside reactions to specific situations based on their personality and how their personality interacts with the world. I still think that there is some
sympathy is where we are good at being sympathetic.
Then that's the only thing that's relevant. Then that's the only thing that's relevant is having feelings and expressing them when you see somebody in pain or in turmoil, and then that evokes in us a similar feeling, or at least one that would allow us to have compassion upon said person and comfort them, mourn with those who mourn and rejoice with those who rejoice.
Part and saying like that, the compassion part, that's sympathy, right? Going, damn, this person appears to be upset. I'm gonna I can recognize that they're upset. That probably sucks.
And there's a somewhat involuntary reaction based on those who care about being in some kind of turmoil. So
that's sympathy.
That's
empathy is when you try to imagine how they feel and try and feel how they feel so that you can really understand it.
I mean, there appears to be some kind of overlap there between the empathy and sympathy in terms of you find a commonality in, because they hurt and you care for them to some degree, you hurt even though you don't share their specific hurt because you're not the same person as they are. So hey, BS Lewis is in the chat saying I knew Rex was a big softie.
Yeah, the way you've defined empathy and sympathy there, I would say that I'm fully capable of sympathy, but I am totally incapable of empathy.
Well, the way I've defined empathy, I think everybody's incapable of
it's-
empathy because I think it would be science fiction, like Deanna Troy at that point.
Yeah.
Like, if you see a child in pain, does that actually like hurt you inside, like emotionally? Because I don't want to see a child in pain. I want to alleviate their suffering as much as I can, but it doesn't hurt me. I just think it's my moral duty to alleviate that suffering. Does that make sense?
Look,
Yeah,
I think
it's just-
that
it's just-
empathy
I
was
want
just
to be
a
careful with
complete
the word
lie made up by
hurt.
women. Okay, I'm just convinced that it was a lie made up by women,
I'm good with that.
and nobody will be able to convince me otherwise that empathy wasn't like just a conspiracy, like a conspiracy made up by women.
Yeah, Bilderberg.
There's a bunch of women going, you know how we can really manipulate these men? Let's make them all soft and make them try to imagine how we feel because we're not just gonna fucking tell them.
Premeditation, all those sorts of things.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Accountability, right?
Accountability, culpability specifically has to do with fault. Accountability is your overall moral standing, you know.
Okay.
But I'm
I
also
would hold God. Like, I don't believe in the God, obviously, but I would
Right.
hold the God character culpable for everything that happens in this universe
where it
because the God
begins.
is allegedly the all-powerful, all-knowing designer, and thus all of the harm that we see in this existence could be logically avoided when we could just use logic to determine that. So if it's logically possible to have free will and not have
Understood.
earthquakes or babies being born with
Sorry.
cancer, which is certainly logically possible, if it's possible to have a world without sin in it in the first place, I mean, there's all these logical possibilities. And because of this,
Well,
the designer takes culpability.
No, we had that. I'm going to say it again. God created the Garden of Eden. It was very nice. It was perfect.
Was it lovely? Did you enjoy your time there?
It was lovely. I loved my time there, Oe. Okay, I had a great vacation there. Okay.
I'm sorry, I digress. Go ahead. I didn't mean I should
saw the
interrupt.
fountains coming from the ground. It was wonderful. Okay.
All the naked ladies.
What happened to Noma class? We lost him.
I have no idea. Maybe he didn't want to hear
All the
about
naked
that.
ladies running around.
He's back.
Coming from my ribs were
Okay.
flying out.
Sorry about that, bro.
I'm
Anyway, so I would say so.
No,
But if
no,
God,
no. I have
but
a
if
real
God,
answer. Wait,
Okay.
Rex, I have a real answer.
okay, go ahead.
Okay, so God created the Garden of Eden perfect, and Adam and Eve were naive. So God did make something amazing, and then He created an opportunity to obey by not eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. I say this all the time. Okay, so you're not going to say that God made a mistake in creation because they introduced sin by disobeying God there.
The whole phenomenon of sin is an integral part of the creation that this God allegedly created.
I don't think that objective ethics understands the actual like Christian position, especially at least not of like the Orthodox Church, which is that the fruit or the tree of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, like we weren't going to be permanently banned from like partaking of it. We weren't spiritually mature enough for it. Like that is the church's position on that. It's like
Okay.
it wasn't like a perma ban. You're never allowed to do this. It was like you're just not spiritually mature enough for this yet.
Okay, that's a counterfactual I never heard.
Mhm.
I don't
Because the tree of the knowledge of
agree
good
with
and evil
it,
is not evil itself.
but you do have a command not to do it. Where is everybody? Why is it just me?
I have no idea what just happened.
This
What the
Streamlabs
fuck?
this Streamlabs pitch you're doing, it's not working
Sure.
out so well for you.
I don't know if that was a. I don't know what just happened there. That was weird. It just dropped everything.
Yeah, I thought that was me for a second, and I was like, wait.
Still live, like it didn't fuck with the stream itself.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you guys if you were talking. I could only hear myself.
How long did it drop? Did it drop you? It only dropped me down for like a second.
Like 5 seconds. It was
Okay.
black.
3 seconds at most, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Here, hold on. We'll change the. There we go. We'll do that.
It's interesting.
I have a bunch of these options apparently.
Nice.
I have that one. I like this one the most.
So,
Yeah, that's a good one.
Stillborn. I made a request of you a while ago.
About the PC?
Right? Yeah. I'm soon about to start my street interviews. Would you be okay if I use what I asked so that I can upload?
Yeah.
Because if I upload from America, they can never get taken down.
Yeah, I don't care.
Whereas if I upload from this country, I'm limited by what certain agencies allow to be broadcast.
Do you have Rumble?
I do. Yeah.
It's
The vast
possible.
majority of people in the UK can't access Rumble.
I didn't know that. Just get a VPN.
Yeah.
Under the doily curtain.
Most VPNs that are so my government has just regulated VPNs.
Of course.
That's why, for example, I'm going to be using your home network as my VPN.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'll do whatever I can to fuck the British government.
To be fair, like when we set this up, I will make sure to put like a limit on the speed so that I don't never affect your usage, right? Do you know what I mean? That it will be dog shit slow for me, but at least it's anonymous. That's
Yeah,
all
I
I
get what
care
you're saying.
about. Yeah, exactly. Right. You know, it will take fucking like 12 hours to upload a 20-minute video. Who gives a fuck? Right? So long as it's actually getting out there, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption.
You're good.
What were we talking about before? I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot.
So we're talking about sin and how that came to be relative to God's plan and design and
Oh yeah, so yeah,
creation.
the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was not in and of itself evil, and humanity was not going to be permanently like restricted from accessing that information. It was we were not spiritually mature enough for it.
Yeah, so I mean, when I hear the day you eat of it, you shall surely die, it would, you know, that seems, it doesn't seem like, you know, at this stage, if you eat it, you die, but at some point later, you won't, because you'll be, it just seems very absolute. So I've never heard that before.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying the tree was evil. That's not my
I hadn't
claim.
heard
Just
this
so you know.
explanation either. I hadn't heard this explanation either, and I'm Orthodox, so
This was
it's not at all.
talking about during our catechism class.
What if it's Rokor
Alright.
only?
I'm Rokor.
Ah.
I'm
What if it's American
at the moment,
Rokor only?
I'm considering switching to the Romanian church. Which
Yeah,
will
so the
probably
prohibition against the tree was not
disappoint.
necessarily meant to be permanent, but humanity was not meant to take from it take from it on their own terms.
Where are you reading from?
So in Genesis, this is just an AI summary, but this is this comes from the different writings of the Father, Saint Irenaeus of Lyon, Saint Gregory the theologian, and Saint John of Damascus teach that Adam and Eve were created good, but not yet perfected. They were intended to grow into maturity through communion with God. The command not to eat was an act of loving obedience that would help them mature spiritually. The sin was not merely eating the fruit; it was seizing something that belonged to God's timing.
Okay. Never heard that before.
Yeah, so the common Orthodox analogy is that the fruit was like giving an adult responsibility to a child. The responsibility itself is not evil, but receiving it prematurely can be harmful.
Yeah, I see how that could work. I just don't see it from the text, but it's a view. So
So, okay, actually interesting. I don't remember this from Genesis, but it's been a long time since I reread Genesis. But it says, after the fall, humanity is expelled, so they cannot eat from the Genesis tree of life.
yeah.
And God explains that this is to prevent humans from living forever in the fallen state.
That part I think comports a lot better than what you said before, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, so from the Orthodox perspective, humanity was not necessarily destined to be barred from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil forever. Rather, humanity was barred from taking it before the proper time and apart from God. It's like, so it's like, think of it like this from the Orthodox perspective. I can't take the Eucharist. Why? Because I'm not baptized. Because I'm not ready to be baptized. Because I don't have the prerequisite knowledge to be baptized.
No, I get it. There's no lack of understanding, at least on my part, for this. I understand. I think that's more speculative than it is established. That's all. I'm very like, if you take it like as a constitutional philosophy, I'd be more of a strict textualist.
You fucking Protestants and your excuses.
All right, are we going to get into the debate, because it does get a little further than this?
Oh shoot, I forgot that we were doing that.
It's not super long, so we're going to have some.
How far do we need to go into this?
I don't know, but it's not much further than this.
God also put a deceiver, a trickster in the garden. God also put the tree in the garden, not just in the garden tucked away in some corner, guarded by barbed wire and angels with fiery swords. He put it in the fucking middle with a big old spotlight on it and angels singing.
God did not design the Garden of Eden with Satan in mind. Satan fell from heaven. God designed him as an angel. Okay?
With its own fallible properties.
Hold on. God gave them free will, right? That must be if they fell from heaven. Now, you cannot say that God designed the Garden of Eden with the serpent there. So you have to concede that sucker.
No, I certainly do not.
Well, you should.
By the way, Zill and I are going to have completely different approaches to this. So, but I'm letting Zill go because his channel, he wants to go.
Yeah,
I think Zill is crashing and burning right now with this bending over backward.
I was actually doing pretty well, but Reax, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I go to Revelation 13:8, where it says Christ is the lamb slain before the foundation of the world. So God does decree everything that's going to happen, including the babies dying, including all of that stuff. That's part of his decree. But that doesn't make him culpable, because he is a law unto himself with that sort of thing. And plus, he would have to be culpable to a law that would be over him by definition of being culpable. And he can do whatever he wants with his own thing. And if his object is not like the maximum amount of humans, having their best life, but rather his glory, he can show that, as it says in Romans 9, with either showing justice for those who deserve it or showing mercy for those who don't deserve it. So I already agree.
Model, yeah. According to that model, I could agree with you that according to that model, and we have words for that it's called narcissism, sycophant. These are the ways we would describe a dictator like that.
The problem is that would be an unjustified self-focus, where if God is the center of truth, there would be a justified self-focus internally. So that the narcissism wouldn't apply.
God can't be the center of truth, the center focus of truth. That's linguistically and logically incoherent.
That's just an assertion.
It can't be. No, logically, that just doesn't follow. Truth either is or isn't. You can't ground truth.
What?
Yeah.
Did he just say you can't ground truth? How do you know that's
literally,
true?
You said you can't ground truth because he's going to use the brute facts. He's going to use the brute facts.
Yeah, I love brute facts. It's so fun to do to these people.
So yeah, I used. I think
George,
I even cited you
class,
and Eli.
Do you know
by
the
name.
argument against brute facts?
The argument against brute facts.
Yeah, when somebody says like logic is just a brute fact. Like it just is.
Yeah. So I've written about it, but I'm running real late on fucking sleep, so God, just give it to me.
Yeah, so the basic argument is like, okay, how do you determine that something? Do you have a methodology for determining whether or not something is a brute fact? If there's a methodology for determining whether or not something is a brute fact, is that methodology itself a brute fact, or is the methodology prior to the brute fact? If it's prior to the brute fact, then it's more fundamental, which is what the brute fact is, the most basic fundamental facts. So if the methodology is it would actually be prior to the brute facts, then now the brute facts are no longer the most basic fundamental, because the methodology has to be prior to them. And so brute facts are unnecessary.
Why does this feel like this feels a perfect parallel of like, this is the secular argument against like pure logic, as you've just described. It feels identical to like our orthodox argument against Protestantism, right? Is they constantly appeal to scripture and we go, okay, but you have no basis for scripture, right? You're effectively doing the same thing there.
You can't have scripture without the church. That's
Exactly.
ultimately the
And
orthodox
you're
argument.
effectively doing the same thing there with logic. You're saying you can't have logic without granting the rules and like criterion for logic.
But you can't. Brute facts just don't exist because how do you determine what is or is not a brute fact? That whatever
Exactly,
that
the
methodology
criterion.
is yeah, it's prior. It's ultimately just the brute facts, just a criterion problem, and you can just do this to them
Exactly.
over and over
Yeah.
again. It's so fun to just watch them go in circles, going, but no, but it's true, and it's like, yeah, but how do you know that this is a brute fact?
Yeah.
Or like axioms. I love it when Eli does this with the atheists with the axioms. When they're like, we just take logic as an axiom, and he's like, okay, what axiom did you use to determine that these are the axioms we're going to start with? And he's like, okay, now why should I accept that axiom as the starting point and not this axiom?
I think also brute facts gives you a trilemma. Either everything is a brute fact and therefore it eliminates explanation from our understanding, or nothing is a brute fact and it eliminates grounding from our understanding. Or third, if you have a mixture of the two, how does the negation of explanation give rise to things that require explanation?
Well, brute fact is one of the three horns of Agrippa's trilemma.
Yeah, but
foundationalists or like that would essentially be brute facts.
But the brute fact, I think, presents its own trilemma. Because if you're talking about determining what a brute fact is as opposed to what a brute fact wouldn't be, you give them three options. Okay, is everything a brute fact? No, because then there's no explaining anything at all. And if nothing is a brute fact, there's no grounding anything. So if there's in a mixture where there's a brute fact, where it's an impersonal, non-reflective, non-cognitive, non-purpose giving, non-creative entity, or rather negation of explanation, then how does that give rise to everything that requires explanation, is personal, is I'm responsible for, is material, that has causation, all that kind of stuff? It's a non sequitur to follow.
It's the
from
problem
those
with Platonism. It's the problem with Platonism is the normativity, and why do I have access to these things? That's like the fundamental problem with Platonism. Is like Platonism says that all these things, logic, numbers, truth, they all exist in Platonic forms in some kind of realm. And it's like, but why would I have access to these universal concepts?
Yeah, what's the relationship between the material and the immaterial? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Tautology.
Truth either is or isn't. So you can't say that God is the focus of truth, because truth simply is or isn't. It's the same reason.
Truth either is or isn't. Yes, that's true. I suppose.
In the case of truth not being true, it would be true that truth isn't true.
But would it be true if the truth wasn't true, that the truth is true when it's not true, but then it is true?
This is the retardation.
Maybe.
Of atheists, right?
The IQ just collectively
That depends.
Depends on whether or not it is or is not true.
Yes, exactly.
This is so God, dude.
It's
now I
the
want to argue with this
same
guy.
base argument, fucking over and over again.
I want to argue with this guy now, Rex.
I know.
The tag makes it on is because God can't be the grounding of things like logic.
Of course you can. So, for example,
No, I already showed you how he can't, because you can have logic without any. The logic doesn't need any grounding. It simply is. It's a brute fact. It's irreducible.
Yeah. So the problem with that, do you have a method for locating brute facts?
What is irreducible?
What do you have a method for it?
Yeah, determining whether or not it can be reduced down to a further level where you can get ontologically behind it, and you cannot get ontologically behind logic.
So that'd be a method of explanatory power for a brute fact.
The ontologically would be origin or source. Methodology would be epistemological.
But if you have so if you have an explanation for it, then it's no longer brute fact, because brute fact is a negation of explanation.
No. Brute fact says that you don't need any further explanation.
Because of.
But if you have a methodology for determining what is or is not a brute fact, then you have further explanation.
Right, you have a system by which it's dependent upon. So at the end of your equation, the brute fact is the product of that system.
Yeah.
What something is, or because there is no explanation for it.
Could be either. Well, I think that's
so we don't know.
So
we don't know the nature of brute facts. We're just saying that they're brute facts in placement of the necessity of needing one in the lack of a God.
No, we're simply saying that we cannot ontologically reduce down beyond a particular point, right?
But that's just a negation of an explanation, right? That's not actually ontologically a thing. That's just a negation of explanation.
it's a negation of a need for an explanation. It's a refusal to accept there is a necessary explanation until it can be demonstrated there is such. So if you could demonstrate that God could exist without logic, then you can demonstrate that God could ground logic. But it cannot be done because logic is at a fundamental level.
Well, the problem is the first law of logic is the law of identity, and the next two are dependent upon the law of identity being real. Now, the problem with that, of course, is identity, for it to exist, it doesn't exist within the thing itself, because if it did, then that means it would be abstractly assigned to things. But if things aren't abstractly assigned, if that's not actually true, then how do we know what a human is? We can say that we attach those things to descriptors that we call human, but then all we do is migrate the identity from the individual to the descriptors, and so we just kick the can down the road in that case. So if we say that humans have intrinsic value, first of all, the identity has to be real before we can actually say that humans exist. And then with value has to be real as well.
Yeah, but I actually have to get in the shower and get ready for my debate, but I would disagree on you on a few points. First of all, there is no actual order.
That identity is objective. Fuck me, that we have
totally
to
refuted whether or not
we have to
facts
prove
exist.
that even identity is objective now, right?
Well, that's the thing, is the law of identity, like I said, does not actually identify anything. There are no components within this law of identity that actually make identity real. There has to be identity first for the law of identity to have contextualization in the reality we live in. Therefore, we need God in order to have the laws of logic.
Well, in order to have the law of identity, I think the Trinity is required because you need to have unity and multiplicity accounted for.
Yeah, the one in the many. Right. Yeah. Right, but also we would need a mind to have the cognition to make that differentiation between things an absolute. I sent you an image in the Discord, by the way, Stillborn. You want to throw that up?
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. Hold on.
I might switch devices.
This is from Grok.
Let me fucking use my phone.
The Just Is League.
Oh my god, this is great. I have standing, don't ask why. I bind you because I just do. Normative facts.
Welcome to the Just Is League, people. Brute facts.
This is great.
Yeah.
Guilt is a brute fact?
Well, okay. Yeah, so here's the thing. In Grok, I have long threads going over every aspect of morality and belonging and responsibility I can think of. And so guilt, what is the explanatory power of brute facts to establish guilt? Because guilt, if we're starting from zero, right? If we have a universe where it's just matter and then through evolution, people come into play, right? Where does guilt come from? Because guilt would be a reflection of a counterfactual, because we would have to start with innocence. Then you have to have a moral basis that comes from somewhere. And then you would have to have the offense of that moral basis, which could not be brute, because the standard would have to be something to fall from rather than something that's part of the intrinsic part of the universe. But because brute facts are not intelligent, they can't tell what guilt is, when guilt would occur, who is guilty, what that means, and so many other dimensions. So they would need to posit guilt as a brute fact in order to have the explanatory power for when someone is guilty, what guilt is, what that standard is that they're failing to ascribe to, what they're failing to live up to. Like I can't imagine a way that they can make this actually work, because if guilt is a brute fact, but guilt is contextual and dependent upon the status of innocence or righteousness, then it would not be a brute fact, and therefore guilt would be an illusion compared to righteousness, which they could posit righteousness as a brute fact, but they can't make an explanation for guilt. And therefore, if nobody is guilty, how can you have justice? And if you can't have justice, how can you ground your ethics? And if you can't ground your ethics, then how can you justify the demand that I back up my claims and be responsible to argue in good faith and not lie in a debate? So it goes all the way back to debate, because debate requires honesty. The scientific method requires honesty. Inquiry requires honesty. Those are all moral claims. And in order to do so, I have to objectively value truth over lies, which they can't demonstrate, as far as I can tell, that truth is prescriptive, but they assume it in every debate, that I ought to value what is true and I ought to reject what is false. And so should everybody else. And you can deputize yourself as the judge over somebody and say, look, because it's true, therefore you ought to believe it. I got deconstructed because I followed the evidence. That is prescriptive language, that I am responsible for what I know, and whatever I know to be true, I must adhere to. There's something compelling about what truth is that makes me change my choices. Those are moral claims, binding upon behavior that we could otherwise disobey, but choose not to because truth is prescriptive.
And on that note, prescriptively, I'm going to end the stream because I'm tired and it's like 1:45 a.m. and I got to get up at 5 for work.
Yeah, I got 2 jobs tomorrow, so I stayed up later than I told myself at 9:30 I should go to bed now, and then I just keep joining streams. But Steelborn, this has been productive. Sometime we need to talk about the argument I've been formulating. I also gave you in the Discord just before that a really simplified version of that argument. I gave it also to Mo and Eli, and I guess it's in the main chat.
Wait, the argument from the normativity of reasonableness.
Yeah, so I've expanded a lot of parts of it, and I've applied it to a lot of different other religions and moral systems, including Stefan Molyneux's universally preferable behavior and T-jumps as well. But I'm calling it, maybe it'll get knocked down, but I'm calling it triage, which is the truth, rational, imperative argument for God's existence. And it focuses not on epistemology, it focuses on prescriptivity, normativity, ethics, morals, all that kind of stuff. And it starts with the baseline of why ought I adhere to what is true and reject what is false. Because once you admit that ought exists, then you have to accept that moral oughts absolutely exist, or you have to concede that you cannot debate, because a debate presupposes the value claim and the value mapping of truth over lies, which they have not demonstrated.
No, hold on. So I already see the problem with this, which is that it wouldn't address nihilism in the slightest.
What do you mean nihilism?
Why ought I debate?
Okay, so ought I consider nihilism as a viable alternative?
I don't know. I'm a nihilist, bro.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you that you should do anything.
Okay,
There are no moral facts.
Okay, so ought I consider the alternative that there are no moral facts? Because if I ought not, because if you use reason to come to the conclusion of nihilism, then you have admitted that there are moral facts that lead you to nihilism. And if you don't use reason to lead to nihilism, then there's no reason to consider nihilism on the same level.
Hold on. Why ought I reason?
That's my argument.
Why ought I reason?
That's my argument.
No, your argument is that in order to reason, it basically presupposes God.
And then to ask why ought I reason is to use a modality of reason.
Well, no,
because
I'm just asking you, like, why ought I reason?
Yeah, you ought reason.
You're the one making the claim that I ought reason.
Yeah, we ought reason because ultimately because God exists and there's prescriptivity to truth, which is why when you use reason to come to your nihilistic view,
I just don't accept that because there are no. I don't see there are any moral facts.
Okay, so you don't use reason for any of the conclusions you come to.
I don't come to conclusions.
Is that a conclusion?
No.
Yeah, Steelborn, I think it's pretty evident that.
No, I know. I was just trying to throw a little nihilist. Just trying to.
No. I think the leg sweep for alternatives is ought I consider those alternatives? And if they say yes, then they are still assuming an ought.
Yeah,
even if you have the plurality of alternatives, then I should say ought I consider these on equal standing or better than my current position? If they say yes, then the leg sweep is we're back to the norms again. Feedback loop. There we go.
I muted you.
But Steelborn, you see how that works? And I've worked out a lot of other things, especially like I think, did I share with you 7 defeaters of brute facts that I've been working on too, or no?
No.
Let me grab that if you're interested.
Just do me a favor. Go ahead and send me that.
And you're going to bed.
Okay, hold on.
Cool.
All right, you good? Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what the hand gestures was.
I figured as much, but I was like,
I have
looking.
fixed it.
The Justice League is still great, but all right, I'll take a look at those tomorrow. I gotta go to bed.
See you guys.
You guys have a great night. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Everybody who liked the stream, and if you didn't like the stream, you lazy pricks. All right, have a good night, though. I'll talk to you another night, though, George.